The laughter began before Adam realized he was the target. It rose from the middle of the backyard, light and careless, mixing with the crackle of the grill and the smell of smoke. At first, he thought it was just another joke. The kind families tell to pass time stood near the plastic table, holding a plate he hadn't touched, watching people move around him as if he were part of the furniture. Okay. Adam had almost skipped the BBQ. Something in him had warned him, a quiet feeling that told him he would leave smaller than he arrived. But his mother had insisted. Family matters, she said. Showing up matters. So he came, wearing his best shirt, rehearsing polite answers in his head, hoping for an uneventful afternoon. Mark, his cousin, spotted him first. Mark always did. He had a way of noticing weakness, or at least what he believed was weakness. He raised his voice just enough to pull attention. Adam. There you are. We were just talking about you. That sentence alone made Adam's stomach tighten. Adam smiled politely. Hey. Mark stepped closer, drink in hand, relaxed and confident. So tell us, man, still working on that big plan of yours? The words were harmless on the surface, but the tone wasn't. A few people nearby paused, pretending not to listen while listening closely. Adam felt eyes turn toward him. He nodded once. Yeah, still working? Mark chuckled. Gotta admire the dedication. Someone laughed. Then another. Adam shifted his weight. It answered this question dozens of times before. Each time it came wrapped in doubt, in raised eyebrows, in the unspoken belief that he was wasting his life. He could explain how close he was, how much progress he'd made, but experience told him that explanations invited more jokes. His aunt joined in, fanning herself with a napkin. I mean, Adam, it's been years. Don't you ever think about a backup plan? Her voice was almost kind, which somehow made it worse. Adam opened his mouth, then closed it. He felt heat creep up his neck. I'm fine, he said. I know what I'm doing. Mark raised his hands as if surrendering. Hey, no judgment. Not everyone's in a rush. More laughter followed. Not loud, not cruel, but steady and dismissive. Adam scanned the yard, searching for a lifeline. His mother stood near the house, talking to a neighbor, avoiding his eyes. His father laughed along quietly, not at Adam, but not for him either. Then Adam saw Daniel. His older brother leaned against the fence, arms crossed, watching with an amused smile. Daniel had always stood like that, relaxed, sure of his place in the world. He wore a watch that cost more than Adam's rent and looked like he belonged anywhere he stood. Adam met his eyes, silently asking for help. Daniel took a sip of his drink and finally spoke. Come on, guys, give him a break. Relief flickered through Adam for half a second. Then Daniel added, not everyone's meant to win big. The words landed harder than any joke. The laughter softened, turning awkward, but the damage was done. Adam stared at his brother, waiting for him to smile, to show that it was a joke. Daniel didn't. He looked away, already moving on. Something inside Adam cracked. He realized then that this wasn't teasing. It wasn't concern. It was belief. They truly believed he was less. And worse, his own brother agreed. Adam placed his plate on the table carefully, afraid that if he moved too fast, he might say something he couldn't take back. His hands felt numb. No one noticed him step away. The laughter resumed behind him, the moment already forgotten by everyone except him. He walked through the side gate and down the street without looking back. The sounds of the BBQ faded quickly, replaced by traffic and the buzz of the city. Each step felt heavier than the last. He replayed the scene in his head, each line sharper. Now, each smile clearer. At home, Adam sat on the edge of his bed, fully dressed, staring at the wall. He didn't turn on the lights. He didn't check his phone. He let the silence press in on him. This wasn't the first time. It was just the clearest. Growing up, Adam had always been the quiet one, the dreamer. the one with ideas that didn't fit into neat boxes. Daniel had followed the safe path and been rewarded for it. Adam had taken risks and learned patience the hard way. He had always believed that results would speak for him eventually. That belief felt foolish now. Late that night, his phone buzzed. A message from Daniel. Just one. Line didn't mean anything by it. You know that? Adam read it once, then again. He felt a hollow ache in his chest. The message wasn't an apology. It was a dismissal. A request to move on so things could stay comfortable. Adam set the phone face down. He lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, listening to the hum of the building. His thoughts circled the same questions. Why did he keep expecting understanding from people who had already decided who he was? Why did he keep shrinking to fit their comfort? By morning, exhaustion settled into clarity. Adam didn't want pity. He didn't want validation. He wanted control. As the sun rose, an idea formed slowly, not as anger, but as focus. He thought about the times he had helped quietly, stayed invisible, protected other people's pride at the cost of his own. He thought about Daniel's late-night call months ago, the panic in his voice when his business deal had started to collapse. Daniel had asked Adam to keep it private. Adam had agreed without hesitation. That memory felt different now. Over. The next few days, Adam moved through life with a new awareness. Every conversation from the barbecue echoed in his mind, not as pain, but as fuel. He noticed how easily people dismissed him, how comfortable they were assuming he would never push back. He stopped correcting them, okay? At work, he kept his head down and did more than expected. At night, he planned, okay? He reviewed old messages, remembered details he had once ignored. He didn't rush. Revenge, he realized, wasn't about speed. It was about timing. Still, doubt followed him. In quiet moments, he wondered if this path would turn him into someone he didn't recognize. He asked himself whether proving them wrong was worth reopening old wounds. But then he remembered the laughter. He remembered Daniel's calm voice telling him he wasn't meant to succeed. That memory hardened his resolve. Adam didn't want to hurt them physically. He didn't want to destroy anyone's life. He wanted something simpler and sharper. He wanted them to see him clearly, if only once. He wanted the balance to shift. As the days passed, the pain of the BBQ dulled, replaced by determination. Adam felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Certainty. Not about the outcome, but about himself. He would no longer be the quiet joke. And when the moment came, they wouldn't be laughing. Adam stopped answering messages that did not matter. After the BBQ, people sent short texts as if nothing had happened. A laughing emoji from Mark. A photo from his aunt. A casual "you left early" from his mother. Adam read them all and replied. To none, silence became his shield. He was done explaining himself to people who had already made up their minds. His days took on a sharp rhythm. Wake up early, work without distraction. Go home, think, plan. Every hour felt purposeful. The pain from that afternoon no longer burned. It pressed forward, pushing him to move faster. He no longer replayed the laughter to hurt himself. He replayed it to remind himself why he could not stop. Adam understood something important. Revenge did not have to be loud. It only had to be undeniable. He began by looking backward. He remembered every quiet favor he had done, every time he had stepped aside so someone else could shine. Daniel stood at the center of those memories. Adam had admired his brother for years, followed his lead, defended him when others questioned him. That loyalty had felt natural back then. Now it felt unreturned. Months earlier. Daniel's confident world had cracked. He had called Adam late at night, voice low and tight, asking questions he pretended were casual. A deal was failing. Money was on the line. Reputations were at risk. Adam had listened, offered advice, and connected Daniel to people who could help. He never asked for credit, never spoke about it again. At the time, Adam told himself that family helped family. Now, that memory sat heavy in his mind. Adam didn't rush to act. He observed. He watched how Daniel moved through family spaces, how easily he commanded respect, how others leaned in when he spoke. He noticed how Mark followed Daniel's lead, repeating his opinions, copying his tone. The family's hierarchy was clear. Daniel sat at the top and Adam existed somewhere below. Quiet and unimportant. That was what needed to change. Still, Adam wrestled with himself. At night, when the world slowed, questions crept in. Was this really about justice or just pride? Would exposing the truth make him feel whole, or would it turn him into the same kind of person he resented? He didn't want to become bitter. He didn't want to be cruel, but he also knew this. Staying silent had not protected him. Adam decided his revenge would not be about humiliation. It would be about clarity. He prepared carefully. He gathered his thoughts, not evidence, because facts alone did not move people. Timing did, context did. He knew when to speak mattered more than what he said. If he acted too soon, he would look emotional. If he waited too long, the moment would pass. So he waited during that time. Adam changed in small ways. He spoke less, listened more. When people joked about him at work, he didn't laugh along. When friends asked about his plans, he answered calmly without defense. This quiet confidence unsettled some of them. They were used to his explanations. His eagerness to be understood dotted home. He cleared his space as if preparing for a different version of himself. He slept better. He ate better. The anger that once kept him awake now focused his energy. Revenge, he learned, was not always wild. Sometimes it was steady. One afternoon, Adam received a message from Daniel. Simple check-in. No mention of the BBQ. No apology. Just familiarity, as if nothing had shifted between them. Adam stared at the screen for a long time. He didn't reply right away. Instead, he thought about what he wanted. Not from Daniel, but from himself. He realized he didn't want to hear regret spoken in private. He wanted honesty spoken in public. He wanted the same people who laughed to hear the truth without anger, without drama. That realization calmed him. When the family group chat announced a birthday dinner, Adam felt the weight of the moment settle in. The restaurant, the long table, the forced closeness. It was the perfect setting, too public for shouting, too personal for denial. Still, doubt followed him. He imagined the scene going wrong. Daniel dismissing him again, the family closing ranks. Adam being painted as jealous or dramatic. The thought tightened his chest. For a brief moment, considered not going. But then he remembered the feeling of standing alone at the barbecue, visible in plain sight. He decided he would go, not to attack, not to beg, but to speak once, clearly, and accept whatever came next. In the days leading up to the dinner, Adam practiced his words silently. He didn't memorize a speech. He focused on staying calm. He reminded himself that revenge, driven by anger, often collapses under its own weight. Control was his strength. The night before the dinner, he barely slept. His thoughts ran fast, jumping between confidence and fear. He wondered how Daniel would react. He wondered if Mark would laugh again. He wondered if his mother would finally look at him by morning. The fear softened into resolve. Adam dressed simply for the dinner. No effort to impress, no attempt to hide. He wanted nothing about his appearance to distract from his words. As he left his apartment, he felt something close to peace. He knew what he was going to do. Whatever followed would be out of his hands. At the restaurant, the noise hit him first. Laughter, clinking glasses, familiar voices layered over one another. The family filled a long table, already deep into conversation. Adam paused at the entrance, watching them for a moment. This was the world that had always judged him from a distance. He stepped inside. Daniel noticed him and nodded, casual and confident. Mark raised an eyebrow, already amused. Adam took his seat, feeling the tension settle into his chest like a tight knot. He breathed slowly, grounding himself. The conversation flowed around him. Stories about work, complaints about traffic, memories Adam barely remembered. No one asked him how he was. No one needed to. This was how it always went. Then Mark turned to him, smiling. "So," he said, "any big updates since the BBQ?" The question hung in the air. Adam felt the moment stretch. This was it. The buildup he had lived with for weeks had narrowed. To a single point, he could joke it off like before. He could deflect. He could stay safe, or he could step forward. His heart pounded. But his voice stayed steady as he answered. "Yes," Adam said. "There are." The table grew quiet. Daniel looked at him closely now. Something wary flickering behind his calm expression. Adam felt the weight of every choice he had made pressing on him. He knew that once he spoke, there would be no going back. The version of himself that accepted being dismissed would be gone for the first time since the barbecue. Adam didn't feel small. He felt ready. The room felt smaller as every voice faded. Adam sat straight, hands resting calmly on the table, while his heart beat fast beneath his ribs. He had imagined this moment many times, but the reality felt sharper, heavier. Faces turned toward him. Curious now, unsure. The old version of him would have backed down. This one did not. Daniel broke the silence first. "What kind of updates?" he asked, smiling, but the smile did not reach his eyes. Adam met his gaze. Real ones. Mark laughed lightly, expecting a joke. "Here we go." Adam ignored him. He looked around the table slowly, letting the pause work for him. His mother frowned, sensing tension. His aunt leaned forward. Daniel shifted in his chair. "A while back, Adam said Daniel came to me for help." Daniel's smile froze. Kato continued, his voice steady and clear. He was worried. Things weren't going as planned. Kato, he needed advice, connections, support. I gave all of it, quietly. The silence deepened. Forks rested on plates. No one interrupted. Daniel cleared his throat. "That's not Adam." Raised a hand, not aggressive, just firm. "I'm not attacking you. I'm explaining something." He turned back to the table. "I stayed quiet because I thought that was loyalty. I thought helping without credit was the right thing to do." Mark frowned. "Are you saying you?" "I'm saying," Adam cut in gently, "that the success you all admire didn't happen alone." Daniel's face tightened. "Why are you bringing this up now?" Adam finally felt it. The shift. The power had moved. Because Adam said, "Last time we were together, I was laughed at, and someone I trusted decided I wasn't meant to succeed." He looked directly at Daniel. Daniel's jaw clenched. "I didn't mean it like that. That's the problem," Adam replied. "You did mean it. You just didn't think it would matter." The words landed clean and sharp. No one laughed now. Adam felt the rush he had expected weeks ago, but it was quieter than he imagined. It wasn't joy. It wasn't anger. It was release, he had said. What needed to be said? He could stop holding it inside. "I don't need praise," Adam continued. "I don't need apologies either. I just won't accept being treated like I don't matter." Daniel leaned back, running a hand over his face. For the first time, he looked unsure. "So what is this? Revenge?" The question echoed in Adam's mind. He had asked himself the same thing many nights. Adam paused. This was the true moment of choice. He could push further, say more, expose everything. He could enjoy the discomfort spreading across the table. The chance was right there. Instead, he took a slow breath. "No," Adam said. "This is me stopping." Confusion spread across the faces around him. "I carried this for too long," Adam said. "I thought proving myself would make me feel whole. But standing here now, I see something else. He stood, chair scraping softly against the floor. Revenge doesn't fix what silence broke, he said. It just passes the damage around. Daniel looked up at him. Adam, wait. Adam shook his head. I'm not leaving angry. I'm leaving clear. He picked up his jacket and looked at his mother, who finally met his eyes. There was regret there, and something else. Recognition. I love you all, Adam said simply, but I won't shrink anymore. Then he turned and walked away. Outside, the night air felt open and cool. Adam stood under the streetlight, breathing deeply, letting the noise of the restaurant fade behind him. His hands shook slightly now. That it was over. He leaned against the wall and laughed once, quietly, at himself. Not from victory, from relief. He checked his phone. Messages were already coming in. He didn't read them. For the first time in years, Adam felt light. Days passed. The family group chat grew quiet. Then messages came, slower this time. His aunt apologized awkwardly. Mark sent a long note filled with excuses and half-meaning words. His mother asked to talk. Daniel waited the longest. When his message finally arrived, it was short. I didn't. See you? I should have. Adam read it twice. He didn't rush to reply. He realized something important then. The moment he had wanted, the moment they stopped laughing, had already happened. Everything else was optional. Adam focused on his own life. He poured energy into his work, not to prove anything, but because he wanted to. Without the weight of needing approval, his focus sharpened. Opportunities grew naturally. Confidence followed quietly. When Adam finally met Daniel again, it wasn't dramatic. They sat across from each other in a small cafe, two brothers learning how to speak honestly for the first time. I was scared, Daniel admitted. Admitting I needed you felt like failure. Adam nodded. Pretending I didn't matter felt the same. They didn't fix everything that day, right? But they started. Adam walked home afterward, feeling the sun warmed his face. He thought about revenge and how close he had come to letting it define him. He realized that the real turning point wasn't what he said at the table. It was what he chose not to do. He had wanted to hurt them back. Instead, he chose to walk forward. And that choice changed everything.